Hi everyone, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today we have a set of sunshine themed cards featuring the July 2024 card kit. Using lots of components from the kit, I decided to create a set of 4 cards. First, I love to start by laying out the different components and kind of getting a general idea of how I want my cards to look. In this case, I trimmed down the white 8.5 by 11 cardstock included in the kit to 4.25 by 5.5 inches. Then I took the You Brighten My Day sentiment and die cut it from those color blending cardstocks also included in the kit. Next, we're going to take the white 4.25 by 5.5 inch panels and run them through the Lattice embossing folder also included in the kit. Now, the first time I ran it through my die cutting machine, I didn't think that the embossing was as bold as it could be. If you ever find that this is the case, you can always spritz your cardstock with some water. In this case, I am using a mister from Spellbinders. And once it is wet, I'm going to place it in my embossing folder and try again. This gave me a much crisper embossed background. So I did that for all 4 of my panels. Now, I talk about this a lot, but if I have all the stuff out, a lot of times I like to just go ahead and make more than one card, especially if it's something that is fairly easy to replicate. That way you have a bunch of cards ready to go at a moment's notice. To do my embossing, I personally love using my Spellbinders Platinum. With the platform, I place my wet cardstock in the 3D embossing folder. Then I like to use that cardstock backer that comes with the embossing folder as a shim. To me, this just works the best, and I have never had any issues running it through my machine this way. Once I have those backgrounds, I am going to let those sit and completely dry. I did do all of my spraying off of my work table. I didn't want to accidentally get any water on anything that I had sitting there waiting to be stamped. So I'm going to set my die cut machine back over to the side so that we can work on the rest of the card design. In my spatter box, I use this clear plastic box from a discount store. I am going to take some of the new fossilized amber distress spritz from Tim Holtz, and I am going to lightly spritz all of my panels. And by lightly, about 1 or 2, maybe 3 spritzes per panel. I just want a very light spritz. This is a very good product if you don't want tons of coverage. Then I am going to let these backgrounds sit and completely dry while I do all of my stamping for the rest of the card design. The great thing about a plastic box is you can easily wash it out when you're done. Now I am taking some white cardstock from my stash and taking the sunshine image from the Sunny Smiles stamp set. I have stamped that with honey ink, or butter ink, pardon me, on the white cardstock, and I've also added some darker honey ink to the tips of the sunshine before taking a blending brush and adding additional butter ink to the center of the sunshine. Let me show you how I created this. So first, I want to ink up the sunshine image with butter ink and stamp that right on my cardstock. That wasn't the best impression, so the great thing about the Misty is I can stamp it again. Then taking the sponge applicator tool from Simon Says Stamp and a little bit of the honey ink, I am dabbing this along the tips of the sunshine, just barely getting the tips of that sun with the darker color ink and then stamping it. You can see how it adds a lot of dimension. Then I'm taking my regular blending brush with the butter ink and adding some yellow ink to the center of that design. We're going to be adding stamped faces to these cute sunshines. There are coordinating dies available for this stamp set that you can pick up as an additional purchase, and it is a great thing to have. I absolutely love this stamp set. I love everything about it. It's just a happy, very fun stamp set. So you can see that I am just kind of mass producing these sunshines here very easily. Now I will say that I did not have the die set at the time of filming this video, so I did fussy cut the sunshine and it wasn't that bad. I know I make jokes all the time about how I don't particularly love fussy cutting personally, but I was able to quickly and easily trim or fussy cut all of these sunshines. Once I have all of the suns stamped on my cardstock, I do want to take the face image from the stamp set, and I am going to go ahead and stamp that with a black VersaFine Onyx ink onto each sunshine. What I particularly love about this stamp set is that it's super versatile, meaning you can make a happy sunshine face, you can place the other image that comes in the stamp set in the center, you can leave it plain, you can embellish it with other greetings if you wanted to. There is literally so many different ways to use this image, and I think it's just so happy and fun. Once I have the face stamped on each of these, I am going to take some Carnation Positively Saturated ink and my favorite tiny round blending brush. I love these little round blending brushes from Simon Says Stamp. And I am just doing a little test over here in the white space on my cardstock, but I want to give my sunshines a little pink cheeks. I always like to test it first. I didn't want to take it directly to my sunshine and maybe mess it up. I like to use a nice light hand, but the great thing about these small round blending brushes is that they naturally give you that little rounded shape. So when you use them to add some little pink cheeks to anything, it works really, really well. And I think the little pink cheeks add so much personality to our sunshine images. Keeping very much with my assembly line style process here, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the pink cheeks. Now off camera at the beginning of the video, you saw that I already had die cut from that Color Blend cardstock, the You Brighten My Day die that comes in the kit from that. Those Color Blend cardstock from Simon Says Stamp is such a time saver. You instantly get the look of an ombre effect greeting that maybe could have been ink blended, but without all of the ink blending. So it just is a huge, huge time saver. Here I am fussy cutting the rest of my sun. Just really quick, I'm using my little snips here from Simon Says Stamp. Look how adorable these little sunshines are. I even think these would make adorable gift tags. So here is my background. You can see it with the lattice embossing and of course the fossilized amber spritz. And I'm going to lay my greeting out. At this point, I'm trying to make a couple of design choices. I love the background. I love the sunshine. I love my greeting. However, I want to add something kind of fun and unexpected to this design. One of my go-tos is a scallop type of long border edge. In this case, I'm going to use the WAVY scallop from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm using the largest one from this set. There's a small, medium, and large in this. And I am going to die cut about 1 inch off of the right side of each panel. Now I would recommend, because we've already embossed this background, only roll it through your die cutting machine to the die and then roll it back out. Don't roll it all the way through or you might smush all of that embossing. It would probably be even better to go ahead and die cut first and then emboss, but of course I didn't think of it till later. Then taking some of the same Color Blend cardstock that I used to die cut the greetings, I am going to go ahead and trim off about 1 inch and place that along the right side of my card and then replace the embossed panel on the other side. This is going to make the beautiful ombre effect Color Blend cardstock pop out of the right side of the card. This is going to kind of tie it all together. It adds a wonderful pop of color to a lot of white background, and I thought that looked really nice. Plus we're coordinating it back to our die cut greeting for each background panel because I did use a different color of color blend cardstock to die cut each one of my greetings. Now, part of the reason I did that is I wanted a specific portion of each of those color blend cardstocks because I wanted the maximum ombre effect. Next, I'm going to glue the sunshine in place. I will also add some glue to the back of You Brighten My Day. And once I have the glue there, I'm going to kind of try to tuck it and make it seem seamless with the sunshine. I tried to do this pretty quickly before any of my liquid glue dried, meaning you can see I'm just going to pop up a couple of the rays. There we go. And we're going to overlap and layer these elements. Look how sweet this looks. And I do want to make sure it's straight, so might have to fuss with it just a little bit. Now, I did use liquid glue for all of these components. And if it's not laying super flat because we have that embossing folder background, I love acrylic blocks. I'm going to actually use acrylic blocks throughout my assembly here to lay on top of the different elements so that they lay flat while that glue is drying. We also will be utilizing all of the color blend cardstock, or the majority of the color blend cardstock that we use to die cut each greeting and add that border along the right side of our card. In this case, I am going to be stamping additional greetings from the stamp set included in the July card kit, and we're going to stamp those with clear embossing ink and heat emboss with white embossing powder before using sentiment label dies to trim these out. You can also just use a paper trimmer if you want to. This really utilizes or makes the most of all of the wonderful color blend cardstock included, and I knew I wanted to stamp my greetings on a colorful cardstock. Well, why not just go ahead and use that same cardstock that I used for the other components so everything ties together beautifully. Here, I'm just carefully removing a few stray white embossing flakes with a dry paintbrush before heat embossing. I would recommend as well using the Simon Says Stamp Powder tool to prep your cardstock before you stamp and emboss your greetings. Just going to heat set that. I love the bright white on this cardstock. And then of course, we'll trim them out with the sentiment label dies. Now that we have our greetings, I am going to die cut these, and also included in the July 2024 card kit are my favorite thin foam adhesive strips. These are one of my very favorite products because I literally use them on almost every single card I create. In the kit this month, you are receiving a sheet of these, and I am going to use these underneath my greetings to pop up my sentiment strips below my die cut sentiment on my card. Also in the kit, you're getting wonderful embellishments, some sequins, and also these awesome little enamel flowers from Craft Consortium. I'm going to use the flowers to embellish my cards today. You'll also notice as I'm die cutting my greetings, I line up the sentiment label die with one end of the greeting, run it through, flip the sentiment strip around, and die cut the other end so that it is perfectly die cut. I'm also making sure that if any of my sunshine is hanging off the edge of my card, I'm trimming that away. I love those colorful sentiment strips on my card. I can already tell that that just ties it all together and fills in the white space beautifully. I'm going to take my foam strips now, and we're going to pop those on the back, trim down the foam, and then place them right on our card. Aren't these so happy and fun? I just love this card kit. There are so many amazing things you can create with it. So I'm going to continue to finish the other 3 cards. I do tend to like to do one card first to make sure I like it, and then I will do the rest. I decided to do a trio of these little enamel flowers. So I'm going to pop a couple down here by the sentiments, and the third I am going to use to dot my I in the word Brighten. And I'm going to do that for all 3 cards. Oh my goodness, it is so happy and so fun. So here I'm simply going to go ahead and assemble the rest of the cards. You can see that this one is more of the purples and the blues, but it still looks amazing with that sunshine. I love how the look changes just a little bit by using different colors of cardstock. I could see doing a whole rainbow assortment of these fun designs. I didn't use the layering piece back behind You Brighten My Day because I felt like that if I did that, it might make a little too much white and it would cover up a lot of the sunshine. So in this case, I only used the die cut greeting and didn't actually use the background layering piece. And again, I am stamping, embossing all of these sentiment strips and then popping them up on the card panels. Let's look at all 4 finished cards. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this set of 4 sunshine themed cards featuring the Simon Says Stamp July 2024 card kit. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube for your convenience. Thanks for watching.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.